What's happening, YouTube? Funk's Print Shop back here with another video. We have a lot going on tonight. It is actually late night. It is currently 11:30 at night. We did have to work at our part-time job today, so we're working a little bit later at the workshop tonight. We have to get some of our printers running, but today we actually have to organize. We have a live show coming on tomorrow, and if you saw my most recent video, we did add some new shelving, so we do have to add or update everything on the shelves. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna probably do a time lapse for that. So let's go. All right, you just saw a short time lapse of me working on the tables. It is going to take a little bit of time. It's probably going to take at least an hour or maybe 2 hours to set up just the tables. Then we still got to insert all the numbers into TikTok Live so we can actually do the live show and then update all the photos. So it is a little bit of a process, but like I said, you don't usually have to do this, at least for me, because I do keep my tables typically set up 24/7. The only reason I am having to do this today is because I did add these shelves, and then if you saw my first video, I wasn't sure when I first started this channel, and then back then with the TikTok ban, if you know everything that's going on, I wasn't sure what was happening with that. So I did sell a lot of the items, so I kind of had to do a revamp of the tables anyway. So we're going to be working on that for a while, but next after this, we do have to go work and find, since we did get the shelves, we're going to have to find, either go on printables.com, or we'll go that more in detail here and later in the video, but we're going to look for just like little nameplates for these numbers that I have for the shelves, so that way I can just hang them up and show the numbers like that, like a little thing. You guys know what I'm talking about, a little stand. If I can't find one on Printables, I will do a quick design, and if that's the case, I will actually do it on video to show you all how I would just quickly design that. Alright, so now we are on printables.com. We're going to go over to 3 models. We're just going to type in stand here in the search bar. We're looking for some stands for the shelves for those numbers, just something simplistic and super small. If we don't see anything, like I said, we'll just whip up our own design real quick. Don't really see anything I like. This one's not too bad, but I am looking for something that's going to cost a little bit less to make. I want something that's going to be like real small and like real easy to print, like 50 of them real quick. So it doesn't look like I really see anything that I like. We're gonna try to do one more search here, and if we don't find anything, let's do a number stand. I doubt anything's gonna pop up, but let's just see. Okay, so I don't really see anything, see, I want something similar to this, but that one has numbers on it, so I'm going to skip that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just design my own. So I will show the process of that. Alright, so we went ahead and whipped up Tinkercad real quick. This is a pretty easy software to use. We're going to create a new design here. Just rename it real quick to number stand. So that way, I do have a lot of designs in here, so that way I don't get them mixed up. I'm going to go over to basic shapes. I'm going to go to design starters. I want like instead of a square, I want more of like a rounded edge. Not that it really matters. So I'm just gonna take this. You know what? I actually don't like that because it's not flat on the bottom. You know what? Actually, yeah, we're gonna work with this. So we're gonna shrink this down a little bit. I do use my iPad to design. I do have a caliper in front of me too. Obviously, you all don't see it because I do just have it recording through the iPad, but I am kind of checking measurements on my caliper. So we're just gonna make it let's do 3 millimeters tall. And then from there, what I think I'm gonna do, you know what, let's go 4 actually. And then I'm gonna go back to design starters. I'm gonna go back to the basic shapes. I'm gonna get a regular rectangle, but I'm gonna grab this whole one that's, hollow. You could always just grab the solid one there, the third one on the right, and then just click the hollow. But since they already have one, we're going to do this. We're going to take it down to 1 millimeter. We're going to make it bigger than what we have. I don't have a keyboard on me, but there's usually easier ways to scale. But if you need like tutorial on actual Tinkercad, there's other videos for that. This is more just to do a quick design real quick. for these numbers. So then we're going to align everything, and then we're going to combine it. So now when you combine, it should be flat on the bottom. That way it'll be easier to print. So let's just go back down to 1. Let's zoom in, and on the bottom you can see it's flat now. So when it prints, it'll be a lot easier to print. Let's see the dimensions of this right now. That's 30 millimeters wide. Let's see if I even need something that big. That should be fine, but I'm actually going to go even a little bit smaller because I don't care if the numbers hang off the side. I'm going to go down to 25 by 20. And then we don't need it as wide either. Like I said, I'm trying to use as minimal amount of plastic as possible. These numbers aren't very heavy, so we're just going to go, let's do, I am checking my caliper as I'm doing this just to see the width and everything and see if that works for me. We're going to do 20. So that's why it's sometimes taking me a second here. So now we got this shape here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, there's a couple ways I could do this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to take a box. This is how I'm going to do it. There's so many different ways you could do this though. This is just the way I'm going to choose for this video. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. Those name tags are so thin. So let's see. We probably only need like a, let's just do like a 2 millimeter gap in between. So we got 4 millimeters here. So we're going to duplicate that item. Whoops. Let's undo that. All right, so now we got a duplicated item. We're going to make this one hollow. So we're going to clip that hollow up there. And then we're going to make this one thinner. Like I said, we're just going to do 2 millimeters since the one that is solid is 4 millimeters. We want 2 millimeters. Oh my God, I can't even talk. So we're going to make this only 2 millimeters. So then again, we're going to grab both shapes. We're going to align them. And then again, make sure that, make sure this is a little bit longer or wider than your actual shape. Doesn't have to be, or at least the same amount of width. So let's just do 25. Now let's grab those shapes again, align, and then combine. So now we got a shape like this. Whoops, we need to undo. We need to actually lift up the hollow box. Whoops, it froze on me there for a second. Lift it up. Let's just go up like 2 millimeters. So that way there's still connected, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Because when we first did it, they weren't connected. There we go, now it's connected. So then we're gonna drag it over to this. We're gonna combine these, but before I do that, we're gonna go up 1. So that way it is in the model, and that way it's not 2 shapes on the bottom. We're gonna align these. Whoops, wrong button. Wrong button. So we're gonna grab both shapes, we're gonna align them. Just like that, so now it's aligned. And then we don't need it that tall, this shape, so let's see. We only need this about, we don't want to block our numbers either, so I'm only gonna go up about 10 millimeters. So let's, instead of changing the number, we're actually gonna drag down from here because I wanna make sure that the 10, since it's changing, I don't want the top and bottom move up, I only want to move the bottom down, if that makes sense. The bottom part right here, see, I don't want that to move upwards because then it won't be connected, so I want it to stay down. So there we go, that'll work. 10, let's go down to 10, whoops. Let's just drag again down to 10. And then let's make sure again, I don't know if I may have unaligned everything. There we go, everything's back aligned. Let's combine those. And we got our final product. Now everything's combined. Let's go ahead and send this. You know what, there is one more thing we're gonna do, just because, not necessarily have to, but we're gonna tilt this a little bit just for the viewing angle, so we're gonna uncombine them again, separate them I should say, and then we're just gonna give this a little bit of a tilting angle. So when the cards are in, just not very much, just like a 5% tilt, like right there. Make sure that the bottom, nothing's sticking out because of the curved angle. Now let's combine. And that's going to be our final shape, I think. So now we're going to go and send this off to the printer and see how it turns out. All right, they just finished up. Let's see if they work. I love when designs work on the first try. Simplistic, yet exactly what I needed. So now when we do the shelves and we put items up there, now they'll all have numbers that are standing up instead of laying flat like on the table here. Because laying flat, you tell me, especially from a distance, what looks better. Even from here, what looks better. So I feel like that one's just more noticeable and it's easier to see which one's which. So happy we made those. Like I said, that only took, I think that recording was 6 minutes, and then would have even been quicker if I didn't have to do a tutorial with me holding the phone and only using one hand to design it. All right, y'all, so it is the next day. This ended up taking a really long time to set up these tables. Probably took around 4 or 5 hours. But like I said, now that it's done, I won't have to do it again for a while, except change out the numbers every once in a while whenever we go live. But let's go ahead and show those tables and see how they turned out. All right, like I said, everything is finally set up. It took a while, but I think everything looks pretty clean now when I go over the numbers. I set up by numbers. Other people do it different ways. That's just how I personally do it. But we did get the shelves pretty full. We could even add more to some of the shelves. The first shelf that you saw up top, that one was not for sale items. They are all items that have already been sold. But we will eventually add more items up there. And then on these shelves, I feel like we could add a little bit more too. But just for now, this is kind of what we're going with until we get even more items made. But I think overall, everything turned out pretty well. We do have some more items over here. We're eventually going to get rid of this table though, and then try to fit some more stuff on there, and then maybe do stuff on the ledge. Or maybe do like a little small table that only goes out to there eventually, just so it doesn't block that door over there. Not that I have to get to that door often, but it'd still be nice to have this out of the way. But overall, like I said, I think everything turned out pretty well. I like how everything looks. And if you want to see me actually in action, come by one of my TikTok lives sometime. All right, and that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is just a little bit different. This wasn't a full day, like I said. We ended up working a little later and went into the next day. This is just showing some of the things I do. I don't show off everything. Obviously, recording every single thing I do would just take forever. But we do try to show some of the more entertaining parts of the day. So if you all enjoyed this content, make sure you all hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. And I plan on making more videos like this, as well as doing review videos, as well as other just general 3D printing videos. Could be making items, stuff like that too in the future. So like I said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you all for the next video.